How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Day Dave, and this is a live stream post episode 24. How is everybody doing out there tonight? I hope everyone's having a good time so far. So far, I see Crimea River representing the Wiggle Bottom Tractor. I see Jody, and I saw Ryan. How's everyone doing tonight? And if anybody else is out there, go ahead and send a hi. Let me know that you're all out there. Hi to everybody in chat. Jody, doing good? Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Ryan, you're here right at the beginning. It must be what, like 2:30 in the morning your time? Like, holy smokes. That's a late night. Let's see. Crimea River, how you doing? You doing good? A rough day? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So, a couple things we got going on here tonight. Got some background work to do as always. I got a couple of contracts I took out. Those are up at the not animal dealer. What am I thinking? Up at the shop here. A couple of fertilizing contracts. And unfortunately, that's all that's going on at the moment. Yeah, contracts are still a little dry, even though we're starting to get into the spring. Let's see. Crimea River, anything you care to share over the chat, or is something you'd rather keep to yourself? Don't feel any pressure to share if it's something that you don't want to. So I'm just gonna hook up to one of these units. So last time I had contracts where there was fertilizing, I explained how I go about doing them personally, and it really kind of works out to my advantage. It kind of maximizes the amount of money that you get per contract. Firstly, by starting off with the Pioneer Farm Supply Pack here and getting a couple of these. I'll go with 4 for right now. And then I just take out... Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, hopefully everything subsides and you can have yourself a better day tomorrow. I know it's you were saying it's a chronic thing, but like I said, hopefully tomorrow will bring you a little bit of relief. So like I said, this is typically what I do when it comes to fertilizing. Let's see, 43 and 67. So I'll go to 43 first. So what I do, and actually I only just recently learned, well, I've heard of this before, but it was one of those I never really started putting into practice until here recently. But because I'm on the precision farming, I will go ahead and turn off the automatic application for any of my contract work. So as you saw right there, whoops, there's a curb there. I went ahead and turned off the automatic application, and then what I will do is that when it comes time to go out into the field, I will turn everything down to its lowest setting. So I'm using the least amount of fertilizer and gonna have the most amount of overage and leftover in this tub at the end of the contract. And once that's all said and done, I will typically do one of two things. Either I'll just go ahead and complete the contracts and be good to go there. I will fill up the other machine before completing, but anything that's left in the tub you get paid for. kind of thing. So it's one of those kind of a little extra money. Some people may find it a little bit cheaty, but it's one of those that, you know, if you can take advantage of it, cool. And the great thing about this game is you can play however you want. Oh, hey. And you know what? We just passed by the, well, I'm passing by everything apparently, especially my turnoff. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just cut through the hedges. Why not? But just passed by the new road that I installed in the last episode there. I'm super excited about that. Wow, am I way off there? Um, yeah, I was really happy about doing that, and it took a long time to get that road complete. Um, I was just basically one or two trees at a time, and was, you know, just back and forth, you know, because that little trailer I had only took two trees. So I would get first tree down, cut it up, load it in. Second tree down, cut it up, put it in. So I mean, thankfully the big bag handler made it a little bit easier to grab all the trees and uh, throw them into the trailer. But yeah, it was one of those that I really wish I would have just spent the money and got me some kind of harvester. I do have a mod that will work for a 3-point link on the tractor that'll basically work as the normal forest harvester headers will. You know, it'll adjust to any kind of meter length that you want. It'll, you know, do the clean cuts and all that stuff. It'll delimb all that stuff, and it's a really nice mod. But just one of those that, at the end of the day, it was me just being cheap and not wanting to get off my wallet. Um, but it worked out. I just turned on, you know, a few of my podcasts and whatnot, and just, you know, sat back, listened to those, or, you know, listened to some music, turned on an audiobook at one point, and yeah, just kind of went to town. It was a lot of fun. Uh, you know, Jody, at first I didn't care for precision farming myself. It was a lot of additional complications, but I one day just decided, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. And after giving it a try, I actually ended up really liking it. And it's just that little bit of additional dynamics that is available in the game, kind of thing. Now there's a bunch of stuff that is kind of unnecessary, like the score, I think, is a little unnecessary. It really just encourages to go by the very specific procedure, and if you don't go by that procedure, then you're punished, or whatever the case may be. Um, but the one thing I do like about the precision farming is there's so many tools that if I didn't have precision farming activated, I would never use. And in case in point, the manure spreaders and the slurry spreaders. If I was on just base game console or base game whatever, I would never use them, because typically what you can do to kind of work your way around the whole two fertilizer states is put down your first layer of fertilizer, then put lime, and then put the next layer of fertilizer, and that will cover you for whatever crop you put in. But you're also using a significant amount of fertilizer as well. So it's one of those, like, I know, kind of catch 22. You tend to use a lot more fertilizer as well on the non-precision farming, as opposed to the like just the normal base game. And you know what? I completely understand it. There's a lot more to try and remember and try to incorporate into your gameplay uh, with that precision farming activated. So it's one of those, I completely understand. It's certainly not for everybody. Like I said, it's one of those that for somebody like myself who does the streaming, does the gameplay and all that stuff for YouTube, it just offers that little extra dynamic that you know, kind of naturally expands out the content. Am I done with this field? I don't remember seeing the trigger pop up. Oh, hey, I'm just fertilizing for no good reason. Well, if I did more paying attention and less blithering, I will, I would see them just wasting fertilizer. That's okay, though. So now we'll head over to, what is it, 67? Yeah, 67's the one's flashing. But, but no, like I said, it's one of those that if it wasn't for the precision farming, there's so much equipment that I wouldn't even begin to even bother touching, and it really forces me to kind of, look into those other pieces of equipment to utilize them, which is nice. I think that kind of expands the usability of the game, or I should say the machines, not the games itself. Um, and makes them seem more practical other than, hey, I want to try this tool kind of thing. I want to try this specific machine, let me, give this a whirl kind of thing. So it's just one of those, oh, Western Wilds, that's a great map. Um, you know what? That's a map maker modder that I haven't heard anything from in a long time. Have any of you heard anything from Alien Jim here lately? The last thing I remember hearing from Alien Jim was the rock crawl map, and that seems like it was forever ago when that one released. Like that's one of the map makers that I remember, very fondly back in like FS19 and a lot of the maps that came up with it. I mean, one of my favorite FS19 maps was Spectacle Island. That one I just absolutely adored that map. Um, and it's weird because I've said this many times in my kind of map tours and whatnot. I'm not a huge fan of the entire map not being utilized, or the entire space not being utilized, and that one certainly counts because it's an island. Oh, hey, this is where I need to go. So the fact that that one I really enjoyed was kind of surprising, and I think where I kind of started turning the corner on smaller than usual maps, or smaller than the full allotment maps. And in particular, what I absolutely adored about that map was the fact that there was so much work to be done before you could actually go in and utilize any of the fields, anything around the farm itself. You had to clean the yard, you had to um, cut down trees in the field, you had to do so much stuff in order to just get the farm functioning. And typical Alien Gym map, they ended up putting in uh, a trigger or cut point that would allow you to just bypass all that stuff if you wanted to. But it was one of those, like, I wanted to do that stuff because it was just that kind of layer deeper, and I would love to see Spectacle Island come to FS22. Like that one, I would be all over doing a Let's Play series. I'd be all over it because it would just bring up back so much fond memories of FS19 and all the fun I had on that map. And I remember just doing so much, to that map. It was just incredible. Let me take a look at the Crimea River. A lot of people have been asking Mr. Sealaby about him. He's coming out with something new. Yeah, I'm only just recently starting to catch up with Mr. Sealy P's content. In particular, the Carpathian countryside. I think I got to the last episode today, the last available episode. I think it was 27. And then I guess he put out a new one today where he moved to a new map. I think it was Valley Spring. Where he's teaching his wife how to play FS22, which I thought that was a really cool concept. You know, it'd be so much fun to try and get my wife to play and have some fun. But I mean, she plays every once in a while, kind of stuff. Not Farming Simulator, but like video games. But nothing like this. I don't know if this would be the kind of game where it would actually keep her attention. That, and we don't have another console to be able to fire up and get her kind of going on it. But I thought that was a really fun concept, how he's just bringing his wife in and showing her the ropes of how to play, you know, kind of thing. And I guess he's got a daughter who's really into the game as well, or at least used to be, and I guess they used to do a bunch of content together. Um, so it's just, it's cool how, you know, he's making it kind of a family affair. But yeah, I would really love to find out what's going on with Alien Jim, if there's anything going on in the background, like I was saying, or if it's, you know, if they're doing anything about it at all. You know what? I just realized, did I ever? No, I didn't turn it down. It was on the second lowest, or second from the lowest. Let's see. There's a map called American Falls coming out. My Lancy boy. Yes, so American Falls, I've been hearing about that from, was DJ Goham. He's been talking about that one a lot lately. That one I'm looking forward to. That could be a really exciting map. And I really do like Lancy Boy's maps as well. There was one from FS19 that I remember. Was it Lone Oak? I think that was Lancy Boy. Or maybe that was Bullet Bill. No, I can't remember. Anyways, yeah, Lancy Boy makes great maps as well. Um, but you know, it's actually funny. We're talking about maps. I have been working in the background to try and figure out where to go from here after this series has kind of ran its course, and it's one of those that I'm not 100% certain on what to do. There was a couple of ideas floating around in my head, not to be too cryptic or anything, but it is kind of an idea that I got from Mr. Seeley P, and I'm kind of springboarding off of that. Now, I'm not 100% certain if I'm going to do this yet or not. It's just one of those, you know, I'm kind of working in the background to kind of see if things would be practical and if it would actually offer, like, the experience and the kind of storyline that I would want to be able to tell. So it's one of those kind of I could kind of see it going either way kind of thing. So, and what I'm really having a difficult time with figuring out is a map that would support the kind of narrative that I want to drive uh, for the next series. So it's just one of those that I'm still kind of kicking around a few maps, trying to figure out some things. Um, but yeah, it's just one of the, and don't get me wrong, there's still plenty of legs left on this series. There's at least several more steps that I want to complete before we can even begin to start wrapping up this series. Um, in particular, I'm getting ready to plant the next harvest, so got to get to that. Want to get through the next harvest. Um, you know, and we've got the one field up in the north part of the farm there. That one's already planted, and that one's planted with barley? Question mark, question mark? Let's see. Yeah, barley. So 52 here is planted with barley. And I need to replant 62 and 93 here at the pig farm as well. So just need to kind of figure out how I want to go from there. So, hey, Jody, am I understanding that right? Are you saying that Lancy Boy has a channel themselves, or? And yes, makes very, very good mods. Very, very nice, especially like their sheds and um, like the models that they can build. They're just top notch. A lot of them are like English and UK style uh, stuff. So I'm really excited to see what they can do for kind of the American style, American Falls. I'm looking forward to that. A good logging map. I mean, the Western Wilds is nice, but in my opinion, it's a little too flat. So it gets a little boring after a while. Now, it does have a lot of cool features on it that really kind of kick it up a notch. So the um, ability to make gold, the methane production over at the biogas plant, all those kind of cool little features that Alien Jim worked in there, like that's pretty solid. But a good forestry map, or at least a kind of combination of a forestry map, um, I really liked New Lands. I really like that. Now, there's been a lot of updates to that map here. I'm not going to say recently, but within the last little while. And it kind of has this kind of hybrid of forestry slash, and there's tons of forestry on that map, but you're not exactly a farmer. You're a um, almost like a county worker is the best way I can describe it. And you're responsible for, picking up trash around the town, and you know debris and stuff around there. There's also like a recyclables on the map and things like that. So it's just one of those. It's kind of a good mixture. It really gives you the ability to break up forestry. But if you're looking for like a pure logging map, um, there's something like Halmorkra, I think it's how it's pronounced. That one's really nice because of how it's kind of coordinated off and sectioned off. There's different tree styles and all that stuff around there, and there's a few like built-in differences in uh, like the sawmills and all that stuff. So there's kind of a good balance between uh, like the forestry aspect and the like the challengingness of being able to build, because there's not too many like good flat areas on it. Let's see. Let me catch up to the chat here. Hey, Dust Bunny, how's it going? Glad to see that you made it. Let's see. What did you say? Evening, everybody. DJ Goham said Lancy Boys mods will be returning to Mod Hub. Whoops. I'm trying to drive and read at the same time. It never works out too well. To the Mod Hub, but he will not be making any new mods or maps. He will be releasing American Falls. Oh my goodness, there's a car there. Oh, come on. Come on. There we go. Be not making any new mods or maps. Oh, well, that's a real shame. Is there a particular reason why Lancy Boy's not making any more mods, or? Let's see. Then Jody. Sorry, let me get to the shop here, and then I'll catch up with the chat. I'll just be bouncing around off of all the buildings and running over people, and it just won't be pretty. Yeah, and as you can see, I ended up buying that plot of land there where the greenhouses are, so I'm gonna have to get those up and running. All right, so completed both the contracts, as you see, and what I will normally do here, whoops, is fill up both of the tubs for the with fertilizer, and that way it kind of maximizes my contract and what I get paid for afterwards. And you figure I only spent $1,000 per pallet of fertilizer, so you end up actually making a fair bit. So just, I know I've discussed this in a previous live stream, but just wanted to make sure that this is kind of out there, and if people were not aware, this is something that can be done to maximize profits. Let's see, now that we're at a standstill, let me take a look at the chat. So Jody, Mr. CLP, his channel is one of my favorites too. Yes, absolutely love Mr. CLP. He does an amazing job. Let's see. Newlands is a fun map. Yes, I really enjoyed it, playing it and doing the series on that one, because of that kind of, non-traditional farming map. But then after I had completed that series, that's of course when they dropped the new update and all that stuff, and that's when they just turned it up to 11. I feel like Gwendol, they ended up putting in all the new productions for all the people and having the ability to do all that stuff. Like, it was just incredible, all the things that they added to that map. So now that I have fulfilled the contracts and filled the tubs, if I take a look, you see the reimbursement there, $13,680, is now applicable to both of them, and what made a $4,000 contract here minus the leasing cost, now it's a $17,000 and an $18,000 respectively. So yeah, you can really kind of take advantage of that, and it's one of those situations where, to each their own. If you want to do this and kind of squeeze out a little extra money, again, we spent $4,000 on all the fertilizer to complete these two contracts, and we have a little bit left over. So you figure, what is that? Be a little over 35,000. Yeah, 35,000. And got some additional there. 35,000 minus 4,000, you figure $30,000 worth of fertilizing contract, and we're good to go. All right, so let's catch up with the chat and really kind of dig in here. Oh man, where was I? Oh, here we go. Dust Bunny DJ also said Lancey Boy will not be recreating any social media sites. So what happened to Lancey Boy? Like, that's what I guess I'm failing to understand is, did something happen where they had all their mods and stuff removed? Because I guess I'm just not in the know on that one. Let's see. Hello, Dust Bunny. Any map by Poor Boy Modding is good for log. Yes, Poor Boy Modding makes some amazing logging maps, and they also include a bunch of additional stuff in their logging maps. So a bunch of new factories, a bunch of additional products, like all that stuff. Like Rogue River is a good one. There's what's the one that I think he dedicated to his son, if I'm not mistaken? Piney Run, I think. That one's a good map. Yeah, all sorts of good ones by Poor Boy. Let's see. Black Mountain, Montana. Yes, that's a good one too. Black Mountain, Montana. Yep, Ryan, good morning from the UK. It must be going on, what, like 3 in the morning over there? And you're on at the start there, so you've been on for about a half hour now. Holy cow. Let's see, Dust Bunny. Hello, Mr. B. Apparently, Mr. Lancey Boy is still upset over the rude and obnoxious comments made about his American Falls map he's releasing for PC. Really? Oh, that's a shame. I wonder what people were saying about to get them all fired up. That's a real shame. That's, here's the thing is, I'll render my opinion, like when the map comes out, and I'll say things that may not necessarily be the nicest thing to say, but I'm not saying it to be mean. I'll typically say them as a, kind of a, uh, uh, I guess is it hopes that if the map maker hears it, that they can kind of take them back and like review them and potentially make updates or whatever the case may be. Constructive criticism, that's what I'm looking for. And um, it actually happened here recently. There was the map Yera Valley, and the map maker reached out to myself and to Dust Bunny, I believe, and through some of our feedback, was able to kind of make the necessary updates and push it out really fast. Like I was impressed in how responsive uh, they were and how like very receptive they were to make a couple of the updates that were kind of pointed out in the map tour and in the questions posted to them. And that's just amazing. Like that just, I think, makes for a stronger map and a stronger community. But I would certainly anticipate that if Lancey Boy is upset over things that were being said, that it was certainly not constructive criticism. I would imagine it's kind of more, mean spiritedness, which is a real shame. Especially for somebody as talented as Lancey Boy. If somebody came along and was just kind of poking the bear kind of thing and whatnot, like I would have a very hard time to imagine that they'd have a leg to stand on with any kind of criticism along those lines, because Lancey Boy does really good work, and that's a real shame that if we lose Lancey Boy as a modder, that'll be a huge loss to the community. Let's see. It's really early morning for you, Mr. Ryan Clark. It's almost 3 a.m. I was right. Let's see, Jody, I'm downloading the new lands. Oh, you know what, Jody? I think that you'll enjoy it. It's one of those that there's a ton of stuff to do. There's a lot of various new crops, different production types than any other map has. So to kind of explain it, I'm just kind of standing around doing nothing. What am I doing here? To kind of give you the, actually no, what am I doing? So the citizen, there's several production points that you get right off the start, and those production points, what they are the townspeople there around the map, and they will produce several items such as slurry. You're basically like supposed to be a city worker, and you're supposed to go over there and clean out their tanks, like the sewage from their houses, collect the garbage, and like spoiled food crates, and you can utilize those various things for other things down the line. So slurry is just slurry. It's basically just wastewater, black water is essentially what it is. And you can utilize that in any production or fields, whatever. You do start out with one field. It's really small and a couple of small bits of equipment, but nothing too severe. And then basically the only contracts you have, unlike most forestry maps, you get grass care contracts. So hay and silage are the two things that you get. But scattered around the map, there's recyclables that you can pick up and take to the recycling center, and you can get paid for those. You can, oh, that's right, we need pallets for this. Oh, I already loaded pallets. What am I? Wait a minute. And I have straw here too? How do I have straw here? I don't remember taking straw. Alright. I've heard of gremlins, the story of gremlins coming around, and back in like the back in the day, the stories used to be that gremlins used to disassemble planes and take them out of the sky and things like that. Just kind of stories and whatnot. But I don't recall gremlins ever doing me favors about filling up straw. I legitimately don't remember putting straw here. Wait a minute. That's my. Oh, that's embarrassing. That's my. That's the one at the farm. Hey, what am I thinking? This is one I thought I was at. Oh my goodness. So solid fertilizer, straw, and manure. Oof. Oof. So I just need straw for this one to be active and this one. So let's get that going. He felt underappreciated by his hard work. There's a lot of bad apples out there and don't appreciate people's hard work. You know, that is incredibly sad. You know, that I'll be honest with you, that really kind of grinds my gears to, like I said, I will render my opinion at the end of every single map. There's only one map that I didn't do that, and it was the dedication map uh, to Richie, Richie F. Oh man, now I feel bad because I can't remember their name. But it was just made here recently by Yogi, and it was dedicated to them. And that was the one map that I will not render my opinion on whatsoever because I feel that it would just be in poor taste. Um, so when I render my opinion, I'm doing so to try and be constructive. I try and be honest and not try to be mean. And when I am giving a low score or something like that, I will, couch everything that I say in, look, this is intended to be constructive criticism. This is not to be personal. This is not to be, kind of a dig at the map maker, because at the end of the day I am incredibly grateful for every single map maker out there because they bring something to us for nothing. They don't get, as far as I'm aware, they don't get paid for this. There might be some avenue to where they could collect later from what I've heard, but that's after like so much like on the back end is done, and if the things that they've created are so incredibly successful, then they can kind of get something in the background, but I'm not 100% certain how that works. Here we are again. I'm chatting and not understanding what it is I need to do. I need to grab a bale, which is why I grabbed this tractor in the first place. Sorry, y'all. I'm just kind of all over the place tonight. It has been kind of a busy day today, actually. Not in a bad way. It just, I decided to, as I typically do, I'll do something new fairly regularly, and I tried something new today, and there was a couple of issues when I tried to sign in to this, so kind of left me scrambling. Here we go. So let's do probably, well, no, let's do one more. Let's do one more. There we go. So anyways, like I was saying, it's one of those that I'll be honest, and sometimes that honesty will not come across the nicest, but that's all why I try, and when I'm giving kind of a negative reading on a map, will go out of my way to say, hey, this is, not to be mean, this is to be constructive criticism and to allow for some kind of user feedback kind of thing. So it's that really grinds my gears that somebody drove them to to remove their mods or to just kind of drive them out of the space. Like that's ridiculous. But yeah, you're right, there's a few bad apples out there, and they spoil the bunch, I guess. But let's see, catch up with the chat. Richie F, yes, Richie F. Ugh. But yeah, that's the one map that I will not render opinion on, is specifically because it's stated explicitly that it was dedicated to them. It's like a in memoriam kind of thing. So it's just one of those that just felt tactless. Well, not tactless, but just just felt wrong. Just at the end, it just felt wrong. But let's see. I know I'm going to get too close to this van, and they're going to slam the brakes, and I'm going to run into the back of them. The way do your map tours, you're honest and nice about it. Well, thank you, Jody. I appreciate that. It's one of those that, like I said, I've never been afraid to share my opinion, and sometimes to my detriment. But it's one of those that I don't think that I don't think things can get better if all we hear are the good things. Like, if I was doing something wrong, like, I would want somebody close to me to be able to say, hey, you were wrong, or you did X, or you did Y, and this is how you could approach it next time to be better, kind of thing. And oh no, did these not accept? Oh, whew. Okay, I was worried that wasn't accepting the bail. Wow, that takes a lot of straw. Oh, and of course I'm too close. So that's kind of the reason why I render my opinion at the end of each maps is like, you know, if somebody comes after and hears, you know, said opinion, then it's possible that something can be done, you know, and can be, you know, to the betterment of every player on there. So that's kind of why I do it and whatnot. And really, I don't recall hearing too many YouTubers or anybody like in this space that I'm in that will just kind of say anything other than either the really good things or those things that are like so glaringly obvious that like, hey, it's something's broken, I've got to point this out, kind of thing. But they don't often, you know, say, well, this is how I feel about it, this is why I feel about it. Like, you'll always hear like, oh, this is an amazing map, I love this, this is great, this is great, this is awesome, kind of thing. You'll hear kind of those good things, but it's, at least for the circle of YouTubers that I will follow and watch, it's pretty rare that you'll see those who will give their opinion. Let's see. Dust Bunny. I guess there has been some issues with the new map, the White Farm. A couple of people have had game freeze and crash. Oh no! Oh, that's a bummer. So, as I said in the map tour, for those who've seen it, I actually really enjoyed that map. That, and it shocked me. It really shocked me that I liked it so much. Because, like I was saying earlier, I'm not huge on maps that don't utilize the full space of the card, and it's one of those, like, typically, like, I feel hemmed in and that I'm forced to only use small equipment, or, you know, maybe medium-sized equipment. Like, you really can't just expand out to scale, kind of thing. And that one, I felt like, even though it was smaller, that the way the road network was set up, it made it feel larger, but at the same time, it kind of dawned on me that with the absence of the full card usage, it allows the map maker to expand the map beyond the border, or whatever arbitrary border they put up, and make it look more realistic, as opposed to being right on top of the map edge and then seeing the kind of plastic background that's in like, you can see it here in the background here, the hills and mountain range in the back there. Oftentimes when you get up to the map edge there, it just looks like a sheer cliff, it just falls off, kind of thing. Like, you can look straight down. Is that, sorry, 1 second. Okay, no, that's not a real bale. Sorry, I never noticed that there, and was, now I'm kind of like got my eye trained on having to deal with bales at the moment. Maybe I'll take 2 more bales over there. And then hopefully that means they'll be fully filled up. Let's do 2 of these. There. Oh, and there's something I need to relay about the bale storage. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Let's see. They also had troubles downloading the USA White Farm Buildings Pack. Wondering if you had any issues. I saw your map tour video posted, but haven't watched it. So I didn't have any issues when I did the tour, downloading any of the mods, anything like that. So no, that one really surprised me that people were having issues downloading the mods. I did, however, have part of the issues I was having before coming on here is I went to go on to the mod hub to try and take a look at some mods that I kind of want to revisit and potentially utilize in future series, but I couldn't get on. I couldn't get onto the mod hub for some reason. It just said waiting for mod hub or mod hub loading or something, and just wouldn't make the connection. So I thought that was kind of odd. Yes, yes. I'll just come right out and say it. I think I have one of the best communities. Like, I mean, I'm not a part of too many other communities, but yeah, I've only ever had one instance where I was kind of rubbed the wrong way in regards to somebody leaving kind of a nasty comment on a video kind of thing. And it wasn't like nasty or anything like, something that would be so over the line kind of thing, but it was just rude for no reason kind of thing. And I think we discussed that on one of the previous live streams. And like, that's one person who's not really like part of the community kind of thing. They're just probably somebody that just popped in, saw the video and didn't like it and left a nasty comment kind of thing. So it was just one of those, like, I love getting on here and love getting on here and hanging out with everybody, interacting with everybody as often as I do. It's tons and tons of fun being able to, to just interact, see how everybody's doing, to, like Jody, perfect example is seeing the feedback that you give with the map tours, you know, telling me your kind of scorecard as to how you feel about a particular map. Like, it's things like that. It's Dust Bunny, it's Crimea River, it's Ryan, it's all the people who just come together and just want to have, just have fun. And that's what I wanted this channel to be from the very beginning, is just go out there and create a space for people to just sit back and have fun, and be entertained. And I feel like that's kind of a thing nowadays. It's kind of going by the wayside. There's not too many spaces anymore where people can just go and have a good time kind of thing and just have fun without, somebody coming along and trying to ruin it kind of thing with one thing or another. So that's what I wanted this place to be. It's just a space to where people could just come by, have fun, talk about the game, talk about whatever they wanted to talk about. Really, it doesn't have to necessarily be all about Farming Simulator. That's why I always ask at the very beginning. It's like, hey, how's everybody's day? If somebody's having kind of a crummy day, feel free to talk about it if that's what you want to do. If you feel comfortable about it, great. And I'm not going to claim to have any answers whatsoever, but at bare minimum I can listen and just be the kind of person to. And it just occurred to me that I should have brought straw up here for this, but if I'm not going to bring all the others, then why bother? But I do have all the other components. I do have the straw, I do have manure, and I do have solid fertilizer, don't I? Oh, I do have some. do have some solid fertilizer. But you know what? I got some of that solid fertilizer up there. Ooh, that's a good idea. I got some of that solid fertilizer I just bought for the contract. Whoa. But no, going back to what I was saying, just such an amazing group of people, an amazing community, and I'm just leaves me thankful every single day that I did this, that I made this this channel, that I started doing this, that I put myself out there, and got to meet everybody here, everybody that I interact with, not even on the live streams, just through comments, through the videos that I create, or whatever. It's just one of those things that it is. I started saying the other day that it's incredibly humbling to be able to kind of put yourself out there and then to find this community of people who kind of share your vision of just wanting to come together and oh, there it goes, who just want to come together and to hang out, be entertained, and do all that. So it's a great thing. I really do enjoy it, and I really do enjoy the community that we're building. Let's see, Crimea River, yes he does, Jody. Jody, I'm giving my scorecard on the maps. Yep, exactly. And yeah, I absolutely love when I see people interacting with the comments of either the maps or the Let's Play series, things like that. And I absolutely love when I see you pop in there and give your score for the map, because then it kind of lets me know of the people who follow along and watch those map tours, how kind of on target I am for my kind of grading and scoring. And here's the thing is, I don't expect or think that my score will always be the same to somebody else's, or I think there's been a few times, Jody, where you've had the complete opposite score of a map than I do, and I think that's great. It's one of those that I keep saying this over. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. This game is one of the most dynamic gameplay games I've ever seen in my entire life, because there's something for everybody, and a lot of that has to do with the mod hub, but a lot of it has to do with just the way the game is created as its kind of base structure. It's one of those that if it wasn't for Giants putting together the kind of skeleton, the framework that's necessary for the game to function, that wouldn't then create a vessel for the modders to go out there and do what they do. So it's one of those that it boils right down to good on Giants for making an amazing platform and something that is so universal that almost anybody can be have their taste kind of represented on the game itself. And then on top of that, going and having a modding community to where they can go out and just use their raw talents of building something that's just incredible. Let's see, so you know what I can do is I can go grab my other. Wait a minute. When has my truck been orange? Can somebody do me a favor and in their spare time, if you choose to do this, I'd appreciate it. I don't remember my tarp being orange, and I don't remember my truck being orange. And the skirting being blue. Huh? That's just weird. I don't know what happened there. Wait a minute. Wait. There was an update to this truck here recently. I wonder if that has something to do with it. Oh, there it is. Oh, you know what? Or wait, you know what I can do? Okay, no, I know exactly what I can do. Well, I guess unless I go and change the color of this, that I'm just going to have an orange truck for the rest of the series. God, that's weird. I wonder why I did that. Let's see. Let me catch up to the... Let's see, I love that map, yes. I was going to ask if you decided to repaint your truck. Yeah, no. No, didn't paint it. I think that's what's going on, is that because there was an update here recently, and I know I just went through the update, I wonder if that's the whole reason why it's a different color. Because if I remember right, it was blue. Or it was like a darker kind of... It certainly wasn't orange. I don't think I would ever naturally pick an orange. Let's see. Yes. So in the last episode, I decided to just go with this for the manure here. And actually, speaking of which, how much? Oof. All right, another question for y'all. Anybody know how much this manure heap holds? Because I swore for the longest time that this only held like 5,000 liters. Now we're up to almost 6,000 liters. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. But I need to rake that out just to get that out of the way. But weird. Just so weird. Anyways. Yes, he comes out with a quad cab combination with that. Yes. Yes, so I know that there was something to do with the quad cab where it was now compatible with some of the large semi attachments. At least I think that was what it was. It was compatible with some other mods that 82 Studios had created. So it was one of those that I'm like, oh yeah, I'll certainly download that. You know, now I kind of wish that I hadn't, but I mean, it is what it is. It's not a huge deal. One thing I will say is I don't recall the sound seems different too. Whoa, sliding, slipping and sliding. Oh dear. Slalom. There we go. But what I mean in particular with the sound is when the transmission shifts to a higher gear, it almost sounds like the turbo whine in the shift. Like, I don't know, I don't recall hearing that. It seems new. Alright, let's see if I can get this tucked in. Oh dear. Aha. All right, well. Well, certainly not the prettiest procedure, but it worked. So, man, these really hold a lot. So what I've been doing up until this point is leaving a single product on each one of the greenhouses, especially the one at the farm. I think for this big for this big one though, I think what I'm gonna do is actually put on all the various products. Here we go, back that up. There we go. Perfect. Let me out. There we go. Boop, 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 boop. Wait a minute. What am I missing? Oh, the straw. The straw is what I'm missing. Oh, ay, ay, ay. Let's see. Looks like the pumpkin truck. The wiggle bottom truck. You know what? We've got wiggle bottom tractors. We're gonna have us a wiggle bottom farm. Is what this is gonna turn into at the end of the day. I do like it, the pumpkin truck. If only we were a bit closer to October. Well, make one more trip down here with a straw bale. I don't know what I was thinking. I meant to take the straw bales that were already there and put them in. Yeah, that noise is just... I don't ever recall hearing that kind of chirp or whine. And like I said, it almost sounds like the whoa! Almost sounds like the blast gate from the turbo. There we go. Well, you know what I can do is I can just take... Yeah, that's what I'll do is I'll take two... Wait a minute. No. I think I have loose straw in the silo. I went the wrong way, didn't I? Oh yeah. Went completely the wrong way. Let's see. So many things. Straw, here we go. This way I can just get up there and go. Perfect. There we go. So at this point, just drop this off. I can bring a bale up some other time. As kind of a supplement. You figure the two small ones took what, like 15,000 liters, so if the bigger one kind of ramps up the size, then this won't even fill it, but this will at least get it going. And you know what, while I'm thinking of it, I want to give a huge shout out to the channel members again, as I do during every live stream. Crimea River, thank you for being a tier 2 member. It's really goes to help out the channel a ton, and provides awesome benefits like the wiggle bottom emoji. I do I really get a laugh every time that I see it. It's it was rather fun trying to explain to somebody who's never played Farming Simulator or any kind of. When I was talking to them, they had no agricultural experience whatsoever. And I was sitting. Whoa, hey, there's a door. I'm sitting there trying to explain to them what the tractor does, because all I can send to them is still images of what it is that I'm looking for. And I'm sitting there telling them, look, this is the tractor. There's a pivot point in the middle, and it will articulate on that pivot point going back and forth. And I'm sending this all in text. Yes, yes, there's one of the emojis right there. And and I'm sitting there explaining it, like trying to get them to understand what it is I'm trying to envision for these the emojis, and then later on with the badges and all that. And it was like back and forth, and then finally I had to send them a picture of a dog with the tail just kind of animated and wagging. It was a cartoon. And I'm like, okay, see how the dog just kind of wiggles its bottom around. I want that, but with this tractor. It's like, can you do it? And they're like, oh, they're like, something about that kind of clicked, and they were able to make the emojis. And yeah, they said it was probably one of the more fun requests that they've received in a long time. So it was quite an adventure, but it was a lot of fun too. Let's see. So this is chugging along. So it looks like this is gonna go slow. So it looks like strawberries will likely be the biggest producer, which, I mean, that's typical. Strawberries tends to, go really, really quick. But hey, we've got a fully functioning greenhouse. I'm happy with that. Couple of the greenhouses are. Oh, you know what? That's what I meant to do, is check how much straw that took. Oh, it's all full. So wait, my truck? Where's my truck? What'd I do with it? Okay, yeah, so I got leftovers. I'll go put that back in the greenhouse. Or the silo. But no, like I was saying, the channel members, Crimea River, thank you again so much. Oh, hey, curbs. It helps out the channel a ton. I reinvest all the money back into the channel that is generated from memberships or anything along those lines to be able to come up with bigger and better content. Being such a small channel, it's going to take a while before we can actually start, seeing some gains with that. But at the end of the day, I really want to do some cool things with this channel and be able to continue to just pump out the content that we all have kind of grown to enjoy, and kind of just reinvest and to make sure that this channel just has so much to kind of offer to everybody, not just to everybody who's here, or people who are around the channel, that can appeal to just about anybody at the end of the day. So that's what I'm trying to do with this channel, is to make something that is not just going to be here for today, tomorrow, but it's going to be here for the years to come. I certainly continue to plan on playing this and having fun. This is probably the one game where I've not developed the kind of tired of playing it factor. Every game that I've played, to this date, there eventually comes a point, a tipping point, where you're just kind of, I'm done with it for now. I want to take a break and try something out. This one, I've played since it released, almost exclusively, and I just love it. Just absolutely love it. Let's see. So now, are there any other contracts, or are we still? No, they're still dry. What about items? Used items? No, nothing really going there. Ooh, do I want to... Oh, you know what? Let's rake out the... yes, let's do that. Let's rake out the manure. Oh, and you know what? There's probably the manure at the pig farm too. There we go. Here, let's do. So, anyways, I had mentioned earlier how I had tried something new today, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to share. Um, so here lately, I've been watching a lot of a creator on YouTube, TikTok, uh, Dylan Hollis, I believe is his name. And basically, he's a baker slash cooker who does a lot of uh, like real old timey recipes from like the 1900s, 1800s, like all over time. And like puts an emphasis on like wartime foods or like baking and uh, like the Great Depression. Like there's tons and tons of videos out there around that kind of period of time. So 2000. So yeah, we'll bring the tractor out here too. So that. But after watching a few of their content, I ended up going and finding a video on how to make your own mozzarella cheese at home. And it's actually incredibly simple to do. Um, all you do is you take some, like a gallon of milk, and you add vinegar to it. Oops, there we go. No. And then you get the separation of the curdled milk, which is the cheese, and then the liquid that's left over, and that's your whey. And for anybody out there who hasn't heard, Little Miss Muffet, Saturn Tuffet eating her curds and whey, that's essentially what they're talking about. There is just the cheese curds and the kind of mixture that's left over after the cheese is separated. And I ended up making a decent sized ball of mozzarella cheese, and I thought that was so cool. And it actually like it is legitimately mozzarella cheese. Like I ended up trying it, and it was delicious. So my wife and I were actually gonna make a pizza with it tomorrow. So I'm kind of looking forward to giving that a try. But it's just one of those. I've become rather interested in trying to not necessarily be more self-sufficient, but I mean, I guess you can kind of describe it that way. Is you know one of those things like what happens if you know things become hard to find again in grocery stores, like they were during the you know several years ago. There was the time where toilet paper was almost impossible to find, kind of thing. So it's one of those that if the more skills that I have, or the things that I can kind of make myself, kind of thing, I think that's just kind of an interesting concept, and just kind of expands my skill sets out. So that's kind of what kind of drove me to kind of think about it. That, and being down in Florida, um, hurricanes are a thing every single year, and the even if it's not something as dramatic as the you know thing that happened a few years ago. And yes, I am trying to be very non-descriptive about that, because YouTube does tend to punish creators for talking about it, kind of thing. um oh, come on, back up and get the there we go. There we go. Now it's picking it up. It's one of those things that it certainly doesn't hurt to have a few of those things in your wheelhouse, kind of thing, just to kind of expand your skill sets out and be able to not be so reliant on others. So that's kind of what spurred that on. And I thought it, like I said, I thought it turned out really cool, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it, how it cooks, how it compares to like the stuff you'd buy from the store kind of thing. And what it reminded me of is, Publix is a big thing down where I'm at. And typically at the Publix, and I'm sure, just about every grocery store is similar to this, but they have like the kind of quote unquote exotic cheese section. It's like not the section of cheese where it's all the bags or the bricks kind of thing. It's the more kind of obscure cheeses. Um, and they have like the fresh mozzarella there, kind of the ball kind of thing. And that's essentially what it turned out to be, was just a ball of the mozzarella. And it was like a half a gallon of milk and some vinegar is all it took to do. And those two things, combined them together with a little bit of heat, made the mozzarella. And I just thought it was the coolest thing. And there's, I guess, tons of videos online that shows like the different methods that you can use to make it and to do stuff like that. So I just thought it was kind of cool. Just one of those things that kind of put in the back of my brain and kind of allows me to, why am I, oh, it's because it's over here. 38,000 liters of slurry. So that means that's something that just occurred to me. Separated manure is here on the cow barn. Is there a separated manure in here somewhere? Like the little machine that'll do it? Or is it one that you just have to install? Because I thought you had to install the manure separator to get that separated manure. Huh. Anyways. Let's see. Let us know how the pizza turns out. I absolutely will let you know, because I'm really excited to give that a whirl, because I think like I said, just the mozzarella by itself was really good, but then having fresh mozzarella on a pizza, I think is going to be like completely legit. So I wanted to come over here now and talk about something I saw that some of you may be aware of, some of you might not. I think it was Driver 53. If you're not following their content, please check them out, because they do really good, informative content. And what they shared is these bale storage systems that Giants put out. There's something a little funky with them. And what's wrong with them is, let's see. You can see here how I have the silage on this one, where it's the 3,500 liter round bale and the 7,500 liter round bale. If you put in your silage before it's actually turned into silage and is actually grass, what happens is that if you have a silage bale then, so it was grass, but it then converts to silage in the storage here. If you put in then a silage bale of the same size that's already silage, what happens is that it will leave separate out the bales in the bale storage. And what I mean by that is, let's say I had 10 bales of silage right now. All those blue rat bales up there, those were grass that I put in here that eventually fermented into silage. What happens is that if I were to put in, let's say, 10 more bales of the same size as 7,500 liter bales, they would then say round bales 7,500 liters 20, then a new line would appear, round bales silage 7,500 10. Now, one thing as well, and I wanted to see if this is confirmed here. Okay, so I think it's because I took these out. But if you look at the right side here where it says bales produced, 0 this session, and there's the total count of bales on the right side. That if you have your bales in here as grass, and then you continue to play, and it eventually turns into silage, it actually continues the show as part of your live counter on the uh, on the map. So you have a limit on consoles of, I think it's what, 200 bales, 300 bales, somewhere around that ballpark. And if you approach that limit with the bales in here that were grass then turned into silage, the game doesn't distinguish that it's in this kind of storage area, but rather it thinks that it's actually still on the map. And then you'll reach your bale limit with these kind of being included. So to get rid of that kind of error, you have to pull these out and then repopulate them back into the storage bin, and then it comes off your counter. Then it comes off your kind of separated out kind of issue there. So I just wanted to, let everybody know that that is a thing, and that could be a potential big thing depending on how your gaming style is. If you're using bales or anything like that, you're using the bale storage. Just one of those things that kind of look after, and I need to take a quick drink here. There we go, much better. So now, let's see, I want to go around to my animals just to see how they're... Uh-oh. Oh, well, that needs to be fixed, like, right away. Just realized that my chickens have no food. See, even the engine sounds different on this thing. Let's go this way. So I think it was either the last live stream or the live stream before where I had put out a poll as to what product was going to be planted next on the farm here. And the poll came back, and it was corn. That was the next product. And I'm actually really looking forward to doing that, because I think I'm going to try something a little bit different that I really haven't done up until this point, at least in Farming Simulator 22. I think I'm going to take that corn and potentially make it all into silage. I'm not 100% certain, so to do the chaffing and then to do that, but I'm not 100% certain about that. It's just one of those that, like, time will tell kind of thing. I might be able to actually just make it and then put it onto, like, the grain silo, the not grain silo, the grain mill. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, see, they got plenty of food. 88,000 here. Now we'll head over to the sheep. Okay, 1.5 pallets. Oh, hey, the alfalfa's gone, and their food is going down. Let's fill that back up. Let's see. So this I'm gonna need my. Go ahead and put this away. Let's get a bale of alfalfa out. Here, what do we got here? 5,100, 6,600, 7,800. So I got all sorts of different sizes of alfalfa around here, don't I? Got a few square bales. That's all square bales from leftover for when I had the square baler. Let's do this. Let's get both of these out. Yeah, let's do that. That's pretty much what I've been using the alfalfa for exclusively, is just to feed the sheep. Because this is one of the maps where it has like the custom food for your animals. Let's see, what does this look like in here? Oh, yeah, I just took care of that. That's right. All right, so now gonna zoom that in just a little bit. Oh, stuck in the walls. Okay, and then this. Alright, perfect. I love it, I love it. They're all taken care of. Oh, you know what? I've got to go back to the other farm and empty out the pig trough. That's... See, I am just all over the place right now. That's what happens when... Typically when I get, frazzled and things don't go exactly how I planned. Like I said, when I first got on, the mod hub wasn't loading up right, which, was making me run kind of behind. Thankfully, I can turn on the live stream independently from, the actual gameplay itself kind of thing. So I don't have to worry about, like, I was able to just pop on the, starting soon on the live stream, and then eventually was able to come on. But it's one of those that kind of happened at the last second, trying to figure that out. And then I actually really weird in trying to resolve that issue. I've had it sometimes where if I restart my Xbox and go like do an actual like restart, so shut it down, fire back up kind of thing, and when I came back in, the entire system had updated. I had no idea they were even putting out an update, but everything looked just so completely different from what it was before. So I was sitting there like, oh my goodness, where's my game? How do I get to this? What's like, I'm having to sit there and like figure out like the new layout of the Xbox. And it's not like drastically different or anything, but it was just one of those like, right now is when you have to do this stuff. Right when I'm getting ready to do a live stream. And I let the pig door open. That's not good. Well, thankfully I have some well-behaved pigs. They know not to run off too far or they won't get fed. There we go. Let's see, so I've got to figure out something to do here for this farm, a place to put the manure from here, because I don't necessarily want to keep, like, if the manure gets too full for one bucket load, maybe I'll put another one of those global transport pallets over here. But then I have 2 pallets worth of... Well, you know what? I'll think about it. I've got to head back to the farm anyways, so it doesn't have to be solved right now. Let's see. Good to go. Whoa. Let's add some weight. So if you're not familiar with the weight system I'm using here, this thing is incredible. Yeah, there we go. So the rear weight on this tractor comes from the, I think it's the TLX Wreck-It pack or service pack. I'll bring it up in just a second. I'll be able to know for sure which pack it's in, but it actually has a weight adjustment that can scale between like several 100 pounds to several tons worth of weight, and it's, just a sliding scale. You can adjust it as you go. So it's one of those, like, it's relatively cheap. And if I go here and I adjust it, you can see how the pitch of the tractor is changing, and I'm actually starting to, go a little front heavy. There. You can see just how front heavy this thing gets. But then if I pitch it down the other way, now you see how it's really kind of squatting, and I'm not rocking back and forth at all. So I absolutely love this weight, and I've been kind of, humming and hawing about it, actually, because you have to download the entire pack, and it's not a small pack to have just this weight, because I don't think I'd ever use anything else that was in that pack. But it's here under weights. Yeah, the TLX service pack. And if we take a look, the TLX, where is it? Oh, there it is. TLX service pack. So it's got like these kind of attachment bodies to make your vehicles kind of look like wreckers and kind of deals, but it's not something I think I'd ever use any of those unless it's to kind of drive a story. But at the same time, it's one of those, like, that weight being as kind of dynamic as it is really, like, makes me consider, like, just leaving it. Let's see, let's go ahead and put this back. Crummy River, I'm gonna have to get me one of those weights. It is a very, very nice weight. Like I said, it's very universally usable for whatever size tractor or anything like that. You do have to kind of go around and kind of fiddle around with it and adjust it and whatnot, and kind of dial it in depending on what tractor you're using it for. But at the end of the day, I think that that's a small price to pay to... What? Maybe it's not allowed in this state. Oh, it's because it was folded out. Ay, ay, ay. There we go. But yeah, the it's one of those that, on one hand, I love it because of how dynamic it is, and it can be, like, really customizable. So what I mean by that is, if we go back to the service pack, here we go, and go to the weight, you can see just all the various different things. So you can set it up on just a trailer or a 3-point link. I have it on the 3-point link, obviously. You can have it with work lights, beacons, protective plates, a bull bar, which that's cool, and a winch. I mean, it just... all those kind of additional features are really cool, but having that winch is, like, really, really slick. But again, you have to download it with all the other stuff with it. And you know what? That's something that kind of... I'm not a huge fan of FS22 for doing, is it seems like everything nowadays is part of a pack. And I feel like my storage on my console is filled up so fast with all this stuff that I don't necessarily use all the time, and it kind of gets frustrating, because like I said, that TLS service pack there, 1, 2, 3, 4 separate mods just for one. So you got these 4 here, so 1 out of the 5 are things I would even consider using. Like this one, this has a crane on it, and a actual, like, crane tool that can be used, which, yeah, I mean, maybe to drive a story, perhaps, but it's not something I could see myself using every single day. Any of these kind of things. And I wish that it was, more kind of a la carte kind of thing, like, you didn't have these huge packs, but rather, this, like, or even if you had like the packs and then you had them separated out to where you could download the individual components that you wanted. Now that'd kind of be cool. But I mean, like, I have this Vineyard pack that I just installed here recently, and you take a look, and it's like almost 80 megs of downloading space. And I mean, it comes with a lot of stuff, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if I'll use half of this stuff. There's like one or two things in here that I'm wanting to try and see if they work, but not necessarily see if they work because I know they work, but just to see, you know, how they work and kind of utilize them. But at the same time, you know, there's so many more in there that if I were to only have the items I wanted, then I would have a lot more storage space. And this is, you know, console problems, you know, because I know this isn't a thing for PC and Mac gamers. You know, they're only limited by the size of their hard drives, to where we're limited by the size of our console allotments. You know, the Giants can only allow for X amount of space to be utilized on any of the consoles. So it's just one of those that, you know, console problems. Let's see. So I wanted to take one last look at contracts. Well, if contracts are not going to pop up, then I guess I can skip the day. And yeah, I can't. Oh, you know what? Wait. That's something else that just dawned on me. Let's take a look at some of these. These should be, yeah, 204,000 liters of lime. I need to sell some of that off or something. Let's see, bread. So that is producing. We got bread. Let's see, that's chugging along. Ooh. We got furniture. That's awesome. Let's see, that's going to town. Still have over 400,000 liters of wood. That's all from that work over at the road that was put in. Let's see, the wheat mill. Wow, there's still 30,000 liters of wheat or flour over here. Wow. And there's 70. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay. Wow, I don't know what I was thinking there, but for some reason I was thinking that this and the refinery were in reverse. I was thinking the electrical charge was supposed to go to the refinery and not other way around. Anyways, that's all good. You know what? I could add some more slurry to this and keep that producing. And then this, oops, over here. Okay, well, we got some bottled milk, so yeah, let's get these chugging along. Let's get these working. So what I need is this. Hey, you got a new subscriber, Sam. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. You know what? And that actually reminds me. You know, Sam, you reminded me. Thank you. I don't know what happened today. Of all days, I don't know if YouTube is just being super friendly to me today or what, but I've had the most subscribers I've ever had in a single day. Like, completely blew out my previous record, which was, I think, 9. And again, 9, that's really small. Yeah, see, even I just noticed this too. Even this has changed colors. But I mean, 9 doesn't, you know, especially when you compare it to, you know, people like Mr. Sealy P or DJ Goham, when they have, you know, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, you know, they might gain or lose, you know, 9 in a minute. But today I ended up starting at, I think, 617, and I think Sam just put me over 630 today. Oh wait, where am I going? I need to go back and get Slurry. So, yeah, it was, I think, by far and away one of the biggest gaining days I've had. Uh, and I was really kind of tickled pink with that. I was really, really excited to see that today of all days, just so many new people are subscribing to the channel. It was actually, that's the second subscriber that has subscribed since I started live stream. I had one. Uh-oh. Chat disconnected. Please wait while I try and reconnect. Successfully connected. I don't know if I'm still here. Hold on. Let me check the... Alright, can everyone confirm if they can...